From the moment you finish watching this video, I only have one request of you. Whenever you see the term comic book peak human, I just need you to see that term and just understand it means superhuman. Peak human, at least the idea of peak human that's commonly showcased in Marvel and DC comics, is defined as a level of physical and mental ability that is the maximum achievable level for human beings without the aid of superpowers, genetic modifications, or cybernetic enhancements. But the problem with that definition is that when you actually look at the feats of these characters and the things that they have achieved in that time period, at least within their respective universes, it goes far beyond the capabilities of any normal human being. Batman, Green Arrow, Captain America, even characters such as the Punisher, Daredevil and Black Widow all fall within this peak human umbrella, and in this video I'm going to show you concrete examples of how these characters do things that no human being, regardless of how much training they've had, whether it's 1,000 hours, 10,000 hours, 100,000 hours, could ever hope to achieve. So the next time you're talking to your friends and they mention how anyone could be Batman, I just want you to look at them and give them a cold hard dose of reality, because Batman is simply a Gary Stu that does whatever the plot needs him to do in that moment in time. He's not real. I mean, none of these characters are real, really, are they? They're comic book characters. But let me concentrate a little bit and move on to Batman. He's probably the most famous case out of all the characters I've mentioned when it comes to being peak human. He's supposed to be a regular guy that through grit and hard work became the symbol of justice within the DC universe and is able to stand alongside gods and monsters. But in reality, well, at least to me, he's superhuman. So I can't say any of that without evidence, so let's look at Batman issue 139 that got released in December 2022, I believe. So Batman is fighting a villain known as Failsafe, and to give it a little bit of a rundown on Failsafe is a machine that was designed by Bruce Wayne's subconscious to take out Batman if he ever decided to kill or just stray off the path that he's on. So more or less he's Batman's own contingency plan. So Failsafe has followed Bruce Wayne to the Watchtower and throws Batman out of the Watchtower into space, and so through a series of hijinks, Batman falls from the surface of the moon all the way back down to Earth, and when I say Earth, he falls directly in front of the Fortress of Solitude and survives the entire thing and just walks it off. And it's not even like he's wearing a special type of batsuit, he's wearing his regular batsuit. If he was wearing the Hell Batsuit, which is designed to fight Darkseid and most likely could survive in outer space, I would still raise an eyebrow, but I think I could get past it. Or if he's wearing a spacesuit that would allow him to survive re-entry into Earth's atmosphere, but no, he's wearing a regular batsuit. His batsuit gets torn up typically when he's fighting guys with knives, guns and bats. Like, it's not designed to be able to survive the heat and friction of space travel, but somehow while wearing his regular batsuit he just survives the entire thing. Okay, now let's move on to Captain America. Cap is also strong enough to pull down helicopters from the sky, and this might sound familiar to some of you, but I'll go into it anyway. If you guys watch Captain America the Winter Soldier, there's a scene where he's trying to prevent Bucky Barnes, who's the Winter Soldier in the film, from escaping. Bucky's in a helicopter, and using one hand Captain America grabs the helicopter, and while grabbing the edge of the building that he's on, he manages to hold Bucky in place and prevent him from going, at least for a couple of seconds. And although that's impressive, in the comics it's even more extreme. Instead of using his hand, he uses a grappling hook that he wraps around the side, I believe the right side of the helicopter that he's looking at, and using one arm he just yanks the entire helicopter to the ground. It's complete insanity. And unlike the movie where he's struggling, you can see that it's a massive effort for him. He just does it like he's stretching his arm, like he's going out for a stroll. I think the thing that frustrates me the most about the idea of a comic book peak human is that it just completely ignores the way that the human body works and just how humanity has progressed as a species. So in reality, athletes will spend decades upon decades specializing in a couple physical activities such as running, swimming, shot putting, or moving their bodies in a particular type of way. Despite this, the concept of peak humans in fiction portray individuals who are Olympic level athletes in all areas. For example, Batman is an Olympic level athlete in boxing, sprinting, powerlifting, gymnastics and so on, at least if you're going by his feats. Yeah, that's about it. I just wanted to talk about the idea of peak human, how it's just very silly. One thing they could do to fix it is to just introduce the idea that humans in DC and Marvel have a higher latent genetic potential in comparison to humans in real life. Not so much so that they could start flying or something like that, but just increase their genetic potential to the level where it makes the feats of Batman and other peak humans slightly more believable. Although that would probably introduce other problems as well.